Welcome to Heart Talks. The purpose and intention for these talks is to inspire, empower, and to bring a higher perspective and community awareness with topics not only in real estate, but also in finance, relationships, wellness, and spirituality. So get ready and enjoy as we share our next episode on Heart Talk. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Heart Miracles. I am your host, Lala Delgado, and today we have a special guest, and I'm super excited today because we have a dear friend here today. She is the mother of one. She is an embodiment integration coach. She is my dear friend, and I have known her, wow, I think maybe 7 years. But since then, we've traveled so many journeys together, so many transformational journeys together. And today I'm excited to have her here as a guest in our Heart Talk. So I'd like to welcome Joanne Rodriguez. Welcome. Thank you for being here, my beautiful friend. I know we've known each other. I think we first met back in, I think it was 2016, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, we first met when we were journeying together in Peru. We had both volunteered to work for a Prosperity Homes project to build a home in Peru. And then that led us into a spiritual journey all the way up to Machu Picchu. And that's when I felt that we really connected heart to heart, as sisters, as, just so many beautiful things came from that journey. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here. I'm so grateful and I'm excited to be here in this space that you co-created, and I'm excited.
Yeah, and as I shared with you when I had asked you and you had said yes, and thank you for saying yes, that I wanted you to come here on this Heart Talk podcast. I wanted you to share your story so that maybe we could inspire, empower, or just offer maybe some tools and practices for those that are, open to receiving. And so I know a lot about you, but I want you to share here today. We're going to go deep here. And just to be comfortable to share whatever it is that comes through your heart and whatever, you'd like to share with everyone. So I just want to ask you, for everyone here that's watching, how did it all begin? Like, start with your story, maybe as far back as you started with your spiritual journey, because I know we both went to Santa Monica, we did spiritual psychology, and a lot of us, that's where our journey began. But tell me exactly, like, where did it all start, or when did you receive that calling to get into the spiritual work and the inner work?
Yeah, so I'll start from not when it first began, but I will start from when you and I connected, because I think that is an important part, especially of our friendship and our relationship. I was working in the mortgage real estate industry, and that's how you and I connected. And
Absolutely.
we did get a chance to go to Peru together, go to Machu Picchu, and that I also felt like that heart connection with you at that time. Like there was a bond that we had together, especially hiking up that mountain and like releasing.
Yes.
I remember it was like, it's like I was carrying a backpack, right? Like backpack full of rocks. Like the rocks were like guilt, judgment, like things from my past marriage, things I hadn't let go of. And like just all of us talking. I don't know if you remember this.
Absolutely.
And it was like, like tears were flowing, and as like each one of us, because it was you, me, and our other friend.
Yes.
And we each had like something that we were letting go of.
Yes.
And I really feel like that journey set the tone for what was to come for the next 7 years. And how that path began was definitely going through spiritual psychology, studying spiritual psychology at the University of Santa Monica, which you did as well.
Yes.
And in that, I got to learn a lot about myself. I got to release a lot of judgments that I was holding on,
Yes.
About my situation, about my life, about myself. And in that, I was also working in mortgage.
Yes. You were our mortgage loan officer at that time. Yeah. That's how we connected. And then, but Peru was I think that was the turning point for all of us that were on that trip.
Yeah.
That's where it began, where at least I know for me, that's where I started to really reflect on how I was leading my life, how I was showing up for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I feel the same way.
Yes. So, are you still in the mortgage industry?
No, you know this. I know you're
Yes, I
obviously
know.
the
I was
mortgage.
asking the question for everybody here. So what what made you decide to leave the this industry? The mortgage industry. I know you were in there for quite some time, but there was a point in your life where you decided, okay, I'm ready to leave the mortgage industry and I'm ready to go into a different path. That was your calling. So share a little bit about that.
Yeah. So yeah, I was working in the mortgage industry for a few years, and I had been in different companies, different. One of them was the Mortgage Phoenix Group, which I think is where we met,
Yes.
right? And we connected. And when I got to that specific company, I was introduced to the University of Santa Monica, and that's where like the path led me. And through attending that school and going through that school and doing a lot of the inner work, which a lot of it is like releasing judgments, releasing limitations, beliefs about myself. It's like I began to uncover this new part of me, like this new Joanne, right? Like
Yes.
I guess the one that's always been there, but didn't realize like she can really step up and declare like this is what I want and this is what I don't want. Like this doesn't work for me, and I started to really see that I wasn't fulfilled in being in mortgage. I wasn't, it didn't really have a lot of meaning. I was doing my best to make it meaningful, because it is beautiful. Part of it is helping people achieve a goal of theirs, which is a home, and creating that family unit and community, which I loved that part. But I knew that there was more for me. Like I knew that that was a path that had led me up until this point, and I needed to make a change,
Yes.
right? And I needed to follow my heart. And it wasn't easy at first leaving that behind, because I am a single mom, and
Yes.
I have bills to pay.
We all know single moms out there. Yeah, we know it's very difficult, It's difficult to make that choice. But you did.
Yeah. Yeah, I chose to follow this calling.
Yes.
Like I had already been attending that school for about 2, 3 years now. And so it was like these skills were developing in me. I feel like they were just they were being highlighted, like being able to hold space for others, like being able to facilitate and help people go through their own healing and transformation. That's what really came through, and that's what I really wanted to do. And so I followed that, and I decided to leave the industry and create my own path.
Create your own path, yes. And I've watched you grow from that, and it's been amazing watching you just evolve and just those that we were connected at that time that also made that choice. But what I wanted to bring forward here was, so there was a point when you decided, and it's how many years has it been, would you say, that you made that choice, that you said, okay, I'm complete here with the mortgage industry. I want to take this path. I'm ready to create my own, business, be an entrepreneur, offer, practices and tools. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. But how long ago was it that you decided, okay, I'm ready to leave this. I'm complete here, and I'm ready to, it's kind of like a rebirth, and I'm ready to go this way. How long was that? 2019. Okay. And I know it sounds easy, like, okay, I left this and now I'm here, but we know it's not easy. Anytime we go through that transformational path, or we're following our heart, or we know that there's a deep calling, and how it's going to look, a lot of times we don't know. It's that unknown that, we want to stay safe, but at the same time, our soul is pulling us that, no, this isn't for you. There's something else out there. There's gifts that we're ready to activate within us and to offer to those around us, that light, that blessing, whatever it might be and however it might look for us. But there's a certain thing that we have to surrender, something that we have to go through before we get to that other side, you know? So what would you say, like for you, what was the biggest surrender maybe that you would have to, that you felt you would have to go through to follow, you know, that passion?
Yeah. I feel like for me, there were two things that
Mm-hmm.
were really important to surrender. One was control, right? Like
Control.
control,
We all know about that,
yeah,
yeah.
like the need
Uh-huh.
to know how things were going to work
Control.
out
Yeah.
before I even took action. And a lot of times when we're on this path, no, it's full of uncertainty, and you just have to trust. Like
Mm-hmm.
there has to be that trust within you that begins to develop,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Trust in surrendering to a higher power, so
Yes.
that you know that you're fully supported, that no matter what, you can step off that cliff, right? That
I know
cliff,
that cliff. You got to jump.
and you will be caught or you will fly. But it's
Exactly.
like you have to be willing to make to go there and take
Yeah.
yourself
And it's not
there.
easy.
And it's not
You're
easy.
right.
So that was one. It was like surrendering that
Control. Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, the
Wow.
illusion that I even have control
Right.
over over
Exactly.
certain things. Yeah, I have control over my thoughts and how I'm going to be when things happen, but I
Right.
really like, life is already showing me what the next step
Mm-hmm.
if I'm present to it. And so I feel like that was the first one, and the second one was letting go of this belief of victimization,
Mm.
like that.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Victimization. Wow.
Yeah, that I'm helpless, right? That things that things are happening to me, that it's been stop asking the questions of like, why is this happening?
Mm-hmm.
And instead it's like, okay, start asking, okay, what can I learn from this? What can I do from this? How do I move
Yeah.
forward?
Those are powerful questions. Very powerful questions. Wow.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
needing to, and like the willingness to let go of that, because I know for me, there was something I was getting from being in that victim, holding myself in that victim. Like what was that? Getting really honest. Like what
Mm-hmm.
do I get from others? Like do I get sympathy?
Right.
Do I get others wanting to help me because I'm in that state of like feeling helpless? And so really getting honest.
And I like for you to just say that one more time because I think that's very important what you just said right now. So the victimization, and just repeat that again, those questions that you asked yourself about what am I getting from this?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
There's something I'm getting
Mm-hmm.
as far as holding myself in that image of a
Yes.
victim, right? Just because my past was not pretty, just
Right.
because I went through so much, which I know many people have.
Yeah.
And so it's like there was something I was getting from holding on to that
Yes.
story, right?
Yeah.
And bringing it in the present. And I realized like it's not serving me anymore. Like I have to let this
Go.
go
You're
in
right.
order to take the next step and evolve from this
Yeah.
and grow from this.
And that could be very painful too when you're looking at yourself and you're understanding like what am I really getting from all this? Like how does this serve me? And just being honest, I think being vulnerable, being transparent to ourselves, because in front of other people we could hide that, but deep down we know the truth, right? And being willing to go deep into that, into, we will say, like the darkness or the shadows, and be able to look at it honestly and come out and say, okay, I'm willing to work through this. Almost kind of like our demons, but I don't want to call it demons. It's just like what aspect of me needs to be healed,
Yes.
needs to come up
Yes.
to be seen, as much as we might not want to see it, because it's not easy. It's a lot of pain too. We go through our pain. Um, but what would you say really gave you that fire to do that? Because, we could say that and we could, have this conversation right here and right now. But I know there's a certain fire that comes through us that when we're able to see that aspect of ourselves, that control, or that what am I getting from this? But I'm willing to burn through that or do whatever it takes to do whatever I need to do to heal that, to burn it, to rebirth, or whatever the word might be. Like, what was it for you?
I feel like for me, it was the suffering that was
Mm-hmm.
coming out of that. That
Okay.
suffering was really deep every time I would get in those states of like feeling like a victim, feeling not good enough, feeling
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, just not worthy. Like being in that state wasn't pleasant,
Yeah.
anymore. And there's like a phrase that comes to me, and I forget. I think it's Anais Nin. She talks about this in one of her books about, and it comes a point where it's so painful for the rose to stay in its bud,
And it's
right?
but
Like it
yes.
needs to open up. It needs to open up and
Yes.
blossom and flourish. And I feel like that was it. It's like
Wow. That's
I had
beautiful.
done so much work
Mm-hmm.
already within inner work, right? That it was like my soul's calling. That voice was now bigger than the ego, than the small self, than the
Yeah.
one that felt like a victim. And yeah, and I feel like it was just that. It was like that pulling, like I just knew it's time. It's time. This is what I've been working towards, and it's time to let that go. And I'm not saying like there are moments like I perfected this,
Right. Of
okay?
course not.
Like
Yeah. Of course.
there are moments where that
Mm-hmm.
can creep up, but now I'm super aware of it and I'm
Yes.
mindful, and I could like stop and like really, okay, well, I have the tools now. I already know, what do we do with this?
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. No, and I think what you just shared right now, and I hope everybody's listening and they really receive that, is when you said it was more painful to stay in that closed bud, or when we're tired of being tired, or when the pain and suffering is just so immense that you're like, something has to change, something has to shift. And I know I experienced that, and now you're sharing this with everyone here. And so, was that what led you to where you're right now? I mean, your growth and everything that you're doing, in the community. And for those of you that don't know Joanne, she is an embodiment integration coach.
Mhm.
And you've launched your entrepreneurship, your
Mhm.
business in this.
Mhm.
And I feel, those are your gifts that you're bringing here
Mhm.
around us and through businesses and other workshops and facilitations. Share a little bit about that. Like, you decided to now step into your gifts because the pain was too great to stay there. You did what you had to do. You did the healing, the work, and now you're here holding the space, and you're an embodiment and integration coach. So share about that. I think it's so
Um,
beautiful. Yeah.
yeah, thank you. Um, you know, I don't know where to begin because it's
Yeah,
almost
I
like
know. We're gonna need a lot of episodes, right, to go one and one. But just maybe the essence of it, like I, I'm doing heart to heart miracles and stuff, but you chose like the embodiment integration. Like when did you realize like, oh, this is my path and this is what I step into now,
uh-huh.
and this is where I want to show up now, holding the sacred space for that.
Yes. Okay. So, I shared briefly, right? Like,
Yes.
um, my past was one, like, there was a lot of suffering from early childhood, like, a lot
Like
of things, a
traumas.
lot
Yeah.
of traumas.
Mm-hmm.
And going through my own inner journey, it's like I was able to look back at that
Mm-hmm.
and find compassion for
Mm.
myself in that.
That's huge. Yeah.
A lot of self-compassion, a
Yes.
lot of love, like learning to love myself, right?
Mm.
Like that was the journey of
That's
learning
beautiful.
to love, receive the love, give myself the love that I did not get when I was younger, and I
Right.
needed that. And so in that, I saw the transformation, right?
Mm.
Because in doing that for myself, I was also able to gain the confidence and the courage to step up and become an advocate for myself, for my dreams,
That's
for what I
beautiful.
want to create. And in that, I was like, I I know this was not for nothing. This was not in vain. I
Mm-hmm.
need to make something out of this.
Yes.
Right? And that's the choice. Like I
Yes.
could either stay in this victim and just, live a mediocre life and accept things and stay in that suffering, or I can make the choice to
Mm.
turn that around and
Yeah.
use it for something and support others who have gone
Yeah.
through something similar, because I know I'm not the only one,
Exactly. For the greater good.
for the greater
Greater
good.
good.
And I
Yeah.
feel like that is like the fire
The
that has
fire.
led me to that, right? Like there has to be a bigger reason, a bigger purpose other than myself. And so like now I'm able to do that for others. I'm able to hold that safe space to support someone on their healing journey, on
Yes.
self-discovery of finding what that love is for themselves, and and creating their dreams and living out the life that they want to live, because nothing is impossible, right? Like
Exactly.
a single mom not having the support, not even having the family support, and raising my daughter, and also going through my own transformation, and like being here, like living, creating my dreams.
Creating your dreams, exactly. And I think it's important, and that's why I love that you're here, and I love that you said yes to sharing your experience, your journey, because you have lived it. And so when we go through that experience or that journey, we're able to hold a sacred space for someone else, because we know how that feels. We know what that looks like. And because we also went through that ourselves, now we're able to provide or share. I'd say we share. We could share what worked for us, what helped us along the way. And like you said, as a single mom, going through that, and holding that and knowing that there's a better way to this. And I have seen you. You have done the healing. You have done the inner work. You were very determined and courageous and just willing to show up for yourself. And, throughout the years, I mean, I can't believe it's been 7 years now, but you watched, me, and I watched you, and we come together, and how are you doing, but I think it's very important to have that community. Like we have each other. We're able to pick up the phone and say, hey, you know what, I'm going through something, because we're not enlightened beings. We're going to go through our stuff. We're still growing. We're still healing. And now I feel it's so beautiful for you to be able to offer that to women or anyone out there. It doesn't have to particularly be women, right? Just anyone out there that also needs that support or that facilitation, or just to be heard and seen. And so it's just beautiful to watch you just come out, like, like they say, like that lotus, coming out of the muddy waters. It's all a metaphor, but it's real. It's real. And here you are proof of that, and it wasn't easy. But what I also would like for you to share is maybe a little bit about your practice now that you're fully engaged in. It's growing, beautiful things are coming your way. Just talk a little bit about that. Like, say if I'm someone out there is hearing, like, what you offer, your services, or tools and practices that you might be able to integrate with someone that is ready and willing to start their journey.
Yeah, thank you for that. So right now I'm working with people. I've been working with people one-on-one, as a coach, and leading people through their own transformational journeys. And so what that looks like is someone comes to me, and let's say they have a goal or a dream that they would like to accomplish in their lives, but there are certain things that are getting in the way, right? Like there are some, and usually those blocks, we may think that they're outside of us,
Right.
but they're internal blocks. They're
Exactly.
either beliefs that you have taken on, beliefs of not being good enough or not capable, and sometimes these things are like unconscious, right? Like
Exactly. They're way deep
deep inside, and we're not even aware.
Right.
And so through our working together, and I use different modalities. It could be, we work with mindset, but also embodiment. There's practices that and tools that I share with people.
And kind of describe a little bit about what embodiment is. I know a lot of people have been using the word embodiment, but what does that mean for you and in your practice? Because we could all have a certain expression of that, but how would you describe that embodiment for someone to get that essence of what you do?
Yeah, that's a great question. So for me, what embodiment is really being able to take in the learnings that you're learning, that you've heard, and really take them in. Like that takes some practice, right? It's like building that muscle, and letting it integrate in your body so that it becomes like the whole, your whole being. It is who you are. It is what you are. It's like, whether that is forgiveness, right? Like that compassionate self-forgiveness. Like I am embodying that. I am the embodiment of forgiveness.
Oh,
So
I
that,
love that. That is so beautiful. Say that again, because I need to hear that. Say that again.
yeah, I am the embodiment of forgiveness.
Yeah.
And so what does that look like when I show up and people do things that I feel like they shouldn't have done, right? It's like I'm forgiving myself for having that judgment of them, and really practicing that with myself. Like, okay, I'm having judgments about this, and how things need to look rather than
Right.
what they are. And it's like I'm forgiving myself. It's like continuously embodying those practices so that it becomes like I'm reminding, like you said, we're
Yes, we're
reminders.
reminders,
So we
yes.
constantly need to remind
Remind
ourselves. First, we need that modeled for us. That's
Yes.
why this journey doesn't happen alone.
Yes.
Most likely you
That
need a
is very
mentor.
true.
You need
Yes.
someone
There, standing by you.
Yes.
Not so much carrying you, but
No.
just standing by
Just
you and
there.
holding that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Until you're
beautiful.
ready to fully like, okay, I think I got this.
You could do that for yourself.
Yeah, but someone there to remind you
Yeah.
of that, to model it for you.
I love that. And you just touched on something, forgiveness. I think maybe there's a workshop for forgiveness that we need to create. That just came through right now. But also the other thing is I've attended some of your workshops, and the thing that I could say, it's you do it so gracefully and so gentle, and that's very important, because when we're dealing with deep traumas, we'll say, or deep emotions, energy that is stuck, energy that is there, that we're slowly allowing it to come out for the first time, maybe it's very important for someone to hold you in that graceful, gentle kindness, and you use compassion for ourselves, because I think forgiveness is a big one, and a lot of us probably don't even know how to embody that, and so that's beautiful. So thank you for sharing that. And then share about what is brewing right now, what you are creating to bring forward. I think a workshop or something that you're bringing through. Why don't you share that with everybody here? Yeah, because they need to know that. We need to put it out there.
Thank you. Yeah. So right now I'm creating. It's a 6-week online course, and it's called Emergence, and creating magic and miracles in your life from where you're at right now. And it doesn't matter who you are, what you think, what your past, your limitations. It's like this is a container, and it's a safe, graceful container for you to fully step into and begin to create what it is that you want in your life. So whether that is bringing in a new relationship, whether that is creating a new work opportunity or creative endeavor, like really stepping out to shine, having the confidence, building the confidence within yourself. And it doesn't even have to be something that shows up like that external. It could also be, I want to improve my communication, how I hold boundaries within myself, within my relationships. I want to be able to express myself. Like that is also in this 6-week emergence program. So that's coming soon. It will be ready in mid-October. So I invite anyone who is open to reach out. And I'm also, I started doing these cacao blessings and sound journeys with my partner, and those are really beautiful because you're coming together. For those of you who don't know the medicine of cacao, it's just it's what chocolate is made out of. It's a plant, it's a bean, and that's what they make chocolate out of, and it has a lot of medicinal properties. It's very heart opening. It's the opening of the heart. We do a blessing, and again, it's like in a beautiful space, and then we create like a journey of sounds and music.
Yes, beautiful voice, beautiful music. Yes, that's beautiful. I love that. Yeah. And it's just amazing to watch you grow and everything that you're doing, and just really showing up for yourself. And when you do that, you're able to show up for other people and hold that container. And we know that so deeply, right? And that is so true. I know we could sit here and talk about all the other wonderful things that we have experienced through our journey through Peru, Machu Picchu, and everything else that we've experienced together. And once again, Joanne is my dear friend and sister. And same thing, when we need each other, we're there for each other. And that's basically what this talk is about, is to bring that awareness, to let others know that there is a community out there. There's mentors, there's facilitators, coaches, whatever the word might be. But one thing for sure, we do need the support. And I'm getting chills as I'm saying this right now, but that is truth. We cannot do it for ourselves, because we cannot see those aspects of ourselves that maybe we need to heal, that need to come through. So once again, I thank you for sharing, for being here. And what message you'd like to leave us with right now? I would just, look into the camera and just something that you would like to share with anyone out there, any single moms or anybody out there that maybe you'd like for them to receive.
Okay.
Anything that comes forward.
Yeah, I guess the message that I want to leave your audience with is that no matter what you're going through, no matter where you're at in life, just know that it can get better. It does get better. And that there are people like Oralia, myself, and so many more that are just here to support you and supporting you in following your dreams. So it's never too late. Just continue and yeah, and follow that inner voice from the heart.
Beautiful. And how can they get a hold of you? They want to reach out to you.
Okay, yeah, so right now there's two ways. The one, you can email me at embodiedalchemycoach@gmail.com. And the other way is through Instagram. You can check out my Instagram at Embodied Alchemy Coach IG. And so those are two ways.
Instagram. Beautiful, beautiful. And send her a message and connect with her. She offers beautiful, beautiful sacred spaces. And once again, what I love about her is the grace and the gentleness that you bring through your work and through everything. And once again, thank you so much. Thank you for being here, and excited to do this with you. Maybe another episode as we move through this together and we grow together. So thank you once again for joining us here on Heart to Heart Talks. Have a very beautiful day. We send blessings your way, and until next time, bye-bye.
Bye.